Hi friends, this is Anna with Scrapping, Stamping, and Stuff. I want to show you some things from the Poinsettia Place product suite in the new holiday catalog. When the catalog came out, this is one of the product suites that I just fell in love with immediately, and I know many of you have as well. So I wanted to show you up close and personal some of the things from this product suite. And then, because I like it so much, I've created 9 different card designs that I want to share with you. And actually, so these are some of them. They are beautiful. And actually, some of my favorites are off screen, and I will show them to you here in a little bit. So I'm going to put these away for a moment. Let's look at the stamp set and the dies first. So if you look at the stamp set, you can see there are 3 different sizes of poinsettias that are basically the same shape. We can layer these if we want to. And then there's this one that's sort of a standalone one. Now let's pull these out because they're a lot larger than they look on the cover. So they are nice and large. So in addition to the poinsettias, we have, this could be used as shading in them. We have the holly leaves, we have some evergreen branches, and some really nice greetings. You'll see when I show you these card samples, all of the greetings I used are from the set, and they're really nice ones. So the die set, we have a die for the standalone poinsettia. We have dies for these smaller ones. One thing I love about these is we have an outline die, and we have this inner piece. If you want to, you can use this at the same time, and these aren't lining up right now, but use it at the same time and get an imprint in your paper. So you're basically embossing it at the same time. So this just reminded me, if you want a quick trick to make sure these always line up, I think mine may have worn off. I can just barely see it here. I used a Sharpie marker. I lined them up one time, and then I used a Sharpie marker to place a dot on the 2 coordinating petals. So this wore off. If you used a paint marker, I think that would hold up a little bit longer and stay on there. One other thing I'll mention while we're talking about these, because I love these inner pieces, be very careful with these. I think this is the one. It's really thin right here, and when I pulled it off of my sheet here with the adhesive, it bent, and I was very concerned that I could have actually broken it. It bent so much, so be careful with those. So also in here we have dies for the berries, the evergreen branch, centers of the poinsettias, and there's a little mini poinsettia that does not coordinate with any of these stamps. So you really get a lot. We have dies for 2 different holly leaves, the 2 different sizes, so you really get a lot with this set. I want to show you in the catalog. This is page 14 in the new holiday catalog. If you don't have one of these and you would like to see one, please contact me. But here are a few of the product samples. And this one appears to have some specialty paper on it. I'm going to show you a lot of samples with specialty paper here in a minute. But they're just really pretty. I like that they use the reds, but then a lot of this product suite also has the creams, the whites, the vanillas, and the lighter colors. So here's what comes in this set, and I'll show you these here in just a second. The designer paper, the Poinsettia Place designer paper pack. The Plush Poinsettia specialty paper is amazing. I'll show it to you. It will mean a whole lot more when I show you in this video than seeing it in the catalog here. Beaded Pearls, the real red sheer ribbon, and then if you flip this over, then you get that up close of the stamp set and the dies. So let's look at these products for a second. Here are some of those designer papers. We have the holly, evergreen, poinsettias, and more poinsettias. I love these berries. I will mention this one coordinates with that one poinsettia die, so you can cut it out. And I believe some of these berries coordinate as well with one of the berry dies. So I'll flip these over and we'll get some of the more basic prints that you could use if you want something a little bit less busy. So this wood grain one is one I've used quite a bit already. Pretty branches, evergreen. Some of these are basic enough they would not even need to be for Christmas. So I wanted to show you those. Now let's look at that Plush Poinsettia specialty paper. This is amazing. So what these are is they're vellum. It is like an iridescent vellum. It has a glisten to it. And on top of that is like a velvet or a flocking in these different prints. So we have the poinsettia print. These coordinate with that die. You can use the die to cut these out. Here is one with the holly leaves and the berries. The dies coordinate with this. You can cut them out. And here is just a basic design you could use for anything throughout the year. So these are amazing. I have 2 cards here in a moment. I will show you made with them. We have these pretty beaded pearls. I love these. They're perfect for the centers of the poinsettias, but you can use them for a lot of other things as well. And this real red stitched ribbon. I just ordered some more of this morning because I am guessing this may be my most used ribbon out of this year's catalog. So let's start looking at some of these cards. And I want to get them in order so I can explain a little better. So this one, I used a lot of the products from this product suite. I used that wood grain print from the designer paper pack, the Poinsettia Place DSP in the catalog that goes with the suite. In addition, I used a small piece of this specialty, the Plush Poinsettia paper. I used the centers, the beaded pearls. This one I used our red velvet paper that I love. Like I said, you're going to see a whole bunch of specialty papers here. So this is our red velvet paper. I also used our festive felt sheets to cut out the holly leaf and the berries. So a little trick, if you want to die cut out on these felt sheets, run it through a couple of extra times. It did cut through all the way. Now these berries were a little iffy because when I pulled them off of the cutting plate, they wanted to tear here in the thin strips. But as you can see, I did get most of them off. They did pretty well, and I really like how that looks to add something a little different to the card. So that's a really pretty one, using a lot of the things in this product suite. Next, let's look at this one. So I feel like this is kind of the classic way to use this set, where you stamp it with Memento ink and use blends to color it in, or you could use aqua painters or something to color them in. But there are a lot of other ways to use it, so I'm going to show you some other ways here in a minute. But this one, I stamped it with a Memento. I colored with my cherry cobbler and old olive blends. This one has our Heartwarming Hugs Designer Series paper on it. I used one of our square vellum doilies. Have you used any of these yet or seen them? These are really cool, really pretty and easy to use. And I have a tapping on my back because someone wants to say hello.
Hi.
Okay, you saw the blurry hand there. You gonna stand here and help me?
I guess.
So I also used some of our antique corners and slides from the annual catalog. Wonderful gems. I used this new banner punch. Love that in the holiday catalog, and I thought this turned out really nice. I love the way it looks when you color them with the blends. Next, this is one of my favorites. Love this blueprint. This paper print is from the Trimming the Town designer paper, the one with all the houses and Christmas trees and the mountains in the background. But this is just a gorgeous print in our Misty Moonlight color. So this one, I did the same thing. I stamped it with Memento. I colored it in. On this one, I used some lighter blends as well as the cherry cobbler. I used some of my Calypso Coral to get that lighter color on this one. In the background, this is our Winter Snow embossing folder. Amazing. You're going to see this a lot between now and Christmas, I guarantee, in my samples. And then these are some of our Snowflake adhesive backed gems. You're going to be seeing those a lot as well. I love these. They're cute. They're little. They're kind of discreet, so they don't take away from your project. They're really easy to put on because they already have the adhesive on the back. So these are perfect. You're going to be seeing these a lot. Next, I made a slimline card. Okay, I did a tutorial not too long ago on a slimline card. So if you're interested in that, check it out. I gave instructions for making the card itself as well as a coordinating envelope. So on this one, I used that Plush Poinsettia specialty paper. It's just so pretty. I used the holly print in the background, and then I punched circles of this other one to put behind each of these poinsettias. Now on these, I used blends to color them, but I stamped with Sahara Sand ink first so that you don't really see those lines very much. So I used Calypso Coral in a lighter pink on this one. I used Pool Party blends on this one. This one I think I used Razzleberry and Coral on that one as well. So a couple of the other things I used on this one are in color enamel dots. These are our wonderful gems, and this is some of that ribbon from the annual catalog. Now let's look at a couple where I did some heat embossing. So let's talk about this one first in the shaded spruce color. So you can see these really pretty greetings. I haven't been mentioning them, but like I said, these are all in that stamp set with the poinsettias. So this is our 'Tis the Season Designer Series paper. In the background, this piece with the silver print, this is from our Feels Like Frost set. Every print in that Feels Like Frost set has a silver print on the back side of it. So that is just a really neat set with lots of pretty print options. So this is 'Tis the Season designer paper. On this one, I used the red cardstock and I heat embossed with silver embossing powder to get this really pretty look on these poinsettias. So between the layers here, I used dimensionals to pop those up some. Really gives it a pretty effect, and I use this red sheer ribbon from this product suite on this card. Let's talk about this gold beauty. Here is that same embossing folder, the Winter Snow embossing folder again. On this one, I used the vanilla cardstock, embossed it with gold embossing powder, and then just used a little bit of our gold edged ribbon. And this is our Label Me Fancy punch right here that I punched out for that. So these would be one that's fairly easy to reproduce. If you do a bunch of stamping, do your embossing all at one time, this wouldn't actually take too long to make a bunch of those if you wanted to make those and send them out for Christmas. Okay, friends, here are, I think, my 3 favorites. So let's talk about them. And all 3 of these have our specialty papers on them. So this one, oh, it's upside down. I used our Wonder of the Season Designer Series paper. All of the prints in this pack have these printed, they look like newsprint or old recipes, and they all have these the foil printing. So half of them are the red and half of them are gold. So I use that in the background. Then I cut the poinsettia out using our red and green foil sheets. Isn't that pretty? I didn't do any stamping. I just cut those out with that inner piece to emboss the detail in them. And this is just beautiful. I added a few gold glitter enamel dots, and that is that for that card. Now let's look at this amazing metallic one. So on this one, I made all of these beautiful poinsettias out of our brushed metallic cardstock pack in the annual, in this year's holiday catalog that comes with bronze, copper, and gold brushed foil sheets. So I really like I love our foil papers to add something special to my cards, but I love this because it's really pretty, but it's not quite as shiny. So kind of tones it down a little bit. In the background on this one, I have another foil print from our Brightly Gleaming Designer paper pack. This is a returning favorite from last year, which has really pretty blues and green prints in this one. So I just cut these poinsettias out of the different colors of that brushed foil cardstock and layered them on top of each other. And this one, I'm such a purple purple lover. This is just my favorite, probably just because it's purple, probably not because of anything else. But this is some of our Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. This is one of our gold hoops embellishments. I've had these for a little while and I hadn't used any, and I wasn't exactly sure what to do with them, but every time I see a sample card made with them, I just think it's beautiful. So I had to get them out and try it, and I really like how it looks. Kind of gives a little wreath effect. So then this is that Plush Poinsettia specialty paper, the vellum with the velvet on it. So I die cut these out of the sheet that had the poinsettias. Then I die cut some of the ones out of the sheet with holly and the berries. And I just added this all together with those gold hoops and some of our blue adhesive backed gems. So let's bring these back in. I hope this gives you kind of an overview of the Poinsettia Place product suite, all of the things that come with it, some of the different ways you can use these products. I know sometimes until you see some samples, it's hard to know exactly what you can do with some of these products. So I hope this gives you some great ideas of ways you may want to use this holiday season, preparing some cards for Christmas. If you have any questions about it, please let me know. You can get more ideas and inspiration on my blog at scrappingstampingandstuff.com. And I hope to see you again next time in one of my other videos. Have a great day, everyone.